So before we start the video, I just want to show you what you will be creating in this video. We have this beautiful necklace here. We have these earrings. These earrings, a nice, beautiful pair of dangle earrings. And you will also be creating this pendant. Let's get started. Hi guys, it's Sherry. So today we are going to be making turquoise earrings. To start out, I have my Primo turquoise color clay, and this is going to be a very simple way of doing it. So first I have like a little protective mat over my glass because we're going to be putting paint on it. So I want to make sure that I have less cleanup to do. So the first thing you're going to do is just take your clay and we're just going to slice it up. You do not need to condition this. We're just going to make little chunks here. All right, so now I'm going to need a glove just so I don't get paint on my hands. And I'm going to take some black acrylic paint. And then I'm just going to mix it all up and make sure I get my pieces coated really well. Kind of break your pieces up here, separate them. Okay, so that's pretty good there. I'm pretty sure I got most of my pieces coated fairly well. Now I'm going to take some gold leaf. And I'm going to put that on there. Mix that up pretty good. I'm actually going to do one more because I like to have the gold show. There we go. Make sure you coat that as well pretty good. All right, so once we have our pieces all full of our paint and our gold leaf, we are going to take some liquid clay and we are just going to run it over this. And now we're going to put it into a block. So I am going to make sure all my stuff is nice and mushed together. And I'm just squeezing it nice and tight. Okay, so now I have my little log and I'm going to let this completely dry before we cut into it. Okay, so once it's dry, then we'll cut into it and start creating our beautiful pieces. Now I let my clay sit for probably about an hour, hour and a half, and I'm hoping that it's going to be completely dry. So we'll cut into it and see. So most of it's dry. It's a little wet, but I think we could work with it. This really came out really nice. Look how beautiful that is. So let's get our pieces cut here. All right. I am really liking the way these pieces came out. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get another mat because it'll be easier to peel it off. So I'm actually going to do my pieces on here when I roll them out. Let's get this stuff out of the way. We're just going to lay these all together. Okay, now I'm going to get saran wrap. Just kind of pushing these together a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to get my roller and I'm just going to roll these. Don't worry about the paint because if it's a little wet, that's all right. We don't want it soaking wet, but a little wet is okay because that'll all sand off. I just want to make sure that these are completely stuck together. And that's still good because you don't want to go too thin. So now I'm going to stick this back over here. I want to make sure this is even, and I kind of can feel it better with my palm than I can with the roller. So I'm just pressing down till it all feels the same to me. Because the edging right here is much thinner. So I won't use that. But up here, it's kind of fatter. So I'm just kind of pressing down with my palm to make sure I could get the same level. I like the way that feels. Okay. Now I'm going to get my cutter. I chose this particular cutter because I think it's going to make it look more like a natural stone. And then this cutter, and I'm going to cut this in half. So let's start out. I'm going to make sure I get the fat parts here. And I want to use as much clay up. So I want to make sure that I am getting as close as I can. I'm going to go with right here and right there. And make a couple pairs of these. That's the thin side, so we're going to avoid that area. Here's a nice fat part. There we go. Okay. And carefully I get my blade. And I have another idea of what we're going to do with these scraps. So as you're lifting your scraps, if they're sticking, just kind of carefully put them off to the side the way that they are, because we don't want to lose too much of the design here. Okay. Lift that up with the blade. All I'm doing is smoothing this out. And don't mind if you get a little bit cracks here, because that's going to make your piece look more natural. I like the cracks in that, so I'm going to keep these full and make. So my plan initially was to kind of have these hanging here, and then cutting these in half and having them dangle down. I really like the way these ones came out, so I'm going to leave these ones exactly the way they are and probably just make a nice pair of dangle earrings with those. What I'm thinking is these two, even though they're just as beautiful, I think I'm going to kind of give it that little like broken up look, and I'm going to just make it a little smaller. This way these could dangle down. I'm going to cut this little edge off. I don't want the tip of that to be pointy. I want it to be kind of rough, so it looks more like a natural stone. And that can hang down like that. And we'll just clean this little area up, kind of cut these little sections off here. Smooth out my edges here. And we can have that on maybe down on this side. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of match up what I did with this one, because I kind of want them to be similar in size. Oh, I'm sorry if you guys can't see. All right. So I'm just cutting this up here. And I'm going to smooth that out. Kind of match these up a bit. And I'm going to cut this edge off here. That way we have almost a matching set. Pull this down a little bit. Just manipulate your pieces to what you like. This one we're going to match up again, and we're just going to cut off these pieces here. and then we will smooth it out a bit. There we go. So then, put these all off here. We'll take our earrings, the tops, and kind of figure out how exactly we will lay these to kind of get a general idea. That one's a little bigger, so we're going to kind of trim that off a bit. Yeah. We'll have a longer chain there. Hang that off. And same with that. So what we'll do is we're going to get our little eyelets. I think that's what they're called. And we're going to go with silver. Actually, you know, let's see. Yeah, let's go with pure silver. Like this silver color here. Okay. Get your cutters, and you are going to cut real small. We're going to stick this right in here, right in the middle. This is where we're going to put one here. Okay. And then one on the other side. These will be super glued in after they bake. And then we're going to put one on the very top to hang. So I'm going to stick that there. I know that's going to go there. And that one is going to go longer down there. Let's do the same thing here. I'm going to make sure that I'm making these even here. Yeah. And last one. About right there. I'm actually going to put a tiny bit of liquid clay on the back of this, only because I think those little cracks need extra support there. So that liquid clay can bake inside those little cracks and make sure that they will stay sealed. Alrighty. For these ones, I'm just going to keep simple because I'm loving those cracks. So I want to keep those simple. So I am just going to put a little hole in here. I'm just going to make these drop earrings. Put those up on my tray. Make sure they're nice and flat. These ones, I'm actually going to do the same thing because I really like the way these ones look. These really look beautiful. Okay, so my pieces are ready, but my next step is I want to do something with the extra turquoise scraps. So just because it still has some paint on it, I'm going to put gloves on because I'm kind of don't want to keep washing my hands over and over and over. So I'm going to get my gloves on. All right. I'll put these off to the side. And we are going to make some round beads. And I want to push some of these together first because I want to make one thing for a pendant. Let me kind of get these up. I'm just going to place this together here. And I'm not making a big pendant. I just want something simple. And then these will be my beads. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of roll this out. I'm pressing with my fingers because, like I said before, I feel like I could feel better whether it's going to be level. Okay. So now for my pendant, I'm actually going to get a bigger one like I used earlier. I think I'm going to use that one. And carefully take that off. And I'm actually going to do, I'm going to double layer that because that's, well, it's kind of thin. And I want to make sure I'm keeping the back let's see here. I'm not sure if I like that. I'm going to kind of get a bunch of the pieces that I really like together. That's a nice section there. I'll kind of yeah, okay. So I'm going to kind of put this right on top of here. Because I want it to be nice and fat. And I'm just going to manipulate this with my own fingers here. Now I am just going to kind of take off a very thin first layer. Now look at that, guys. How gorgeous is that? And then I will use my cutter. Oh. There we go. That's going to be beautiful. Just want to make sure it all stays. Okay, so my next step is just to put 2 little holes that I could put my jump rings in when it's done. And that will be our beautiful pendant. Okay, now let me put that on the tray. I want to make sure it's nice and flat. Try this. So if you're doing this and trying to make your own beads, just manipulate it to your liking. That's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm hoping it turns out well. That would be a cool bead. See if we could get one more that's similar to that. I'm just going to press this down and kind of make it rough if I can. Give it some rough edges. All right, now what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the very thin layer and see what's underneath here. Yeah, look at that, guys. Inside, look how beautiful. Let's see if we could do the same thing on the back. See what we get there. And I'm just taking off very thin layer. Yeah, that looks really good. So let's do that with each piece. And see what magic lies underneath it. I could sand away some of this to get to the underneath it, and that's probably what I'll do with all of these, but I just want to kind of get a sneak peek. And I really like the way these came out. So I think I'm going to take these ones and do the same thing and just kind of stretch them out. I'm thinking I can make some kind of necklace piece with these. So that's going to look cool. So what I'm going to do with these guys, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to kind of poke these right through. Get a hole in these. Okay, so I got all my beads. I'm actually going to change these. So we got 2 bigger ones and 2 smaller ones. Now I'm just going to put these on here. All right, guys, so now I'm going to put all of my pieces in the oven. I'm going to bake these at 275 for a full hour. And then when they are completely done, we'll sand them, polish them, and put everything together. So I will see you guys when we come back. All right, guys, so my pieces are completely out of the oven. They cooled off, and what I ended up doing was I sanded them all down so you guys wouldn't have to watch that process. And then I took some of this wax and I just polished them up. So basically you just rub this wax on, and then you take a towel or a polisher and you just rub it, and then you get these beautiful shiny pieces. And look how gorgeous all of these look. There's not a lot of gold in these pieces, but the little bit that is coming through looks really, really nice. And I am truly happy with all of them. I think this came out really beautiful, and I think it looks pretty darn close to a natural stone. So now we're going to put our pieces together. So I know this is going to be a pendant, and I took my little eyelets out, and we're going to glue them back in, and we just got to find the right one. So this is one that the eyelets go in, and that's a set of earrings here we're going to do. I'm just going to separate all my pieces. And look at all of that. Look at how much detail is in this. I mean, this really does. And it's nice and rough. It's not perfect, which is wonderful because no stone is perfect. And then these guys, I'm going to make a necklace out of this. So we're actually going to work on those first. So I'm going to put all these little beads off to the side. That goes there. This will go with those necklace or those earrings. Okay. So now I'm just going to try to figure out how exactly I want my pieces to lay out. And choose which side I want to be the front and which I want to be the back. Okay, and I also have these little wooden beads that I'm going to add, and I thought they would look really nice with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have my wire. This is a very thin wire. And then I have these little pieces that kind of clamp right onto the wire. So the first thing I'm going to do is clamp this right on to my wire. And I'm just going to squeeze it. Oops. It's on there. I just want to kind of make sure it's nice and tight. Then I want to get an idea of how long I want this. So I'm just going to go with this length. I'm sure I won't need that much. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use one of my beads that I made, the round ones. I'm going to put that on. And I'm going to do a wooden bead. And then I'm just going to lace these through. Okay, now we're going to get another one of these little clamps. Oh, I did that wrong on this side. All right, so we're actually going to fix this side then because I did it wrong. Never used these before, so I wasn't really sure how to work these, but you can actually see there's a little lip that this goes into, which is really nice. I actually wish I would have saw that the first time. This is all new to me. I usually don't work with little pieces like this. I'm actually going to leave this up here so I have room to fix that one, so that'll be good. All right, so now I squeeze that, pull that taunt. And then I'm going to kind of wrap this around here, right in the middle. Get nice and tight. Get rid of my sharp edge. And I want to see if I could get this little piece inside. Okay. That worked out nicely. Okay. Now let me fix this side that I messed up. Okay, and we're going to cut that off. And we're going to put a new one on. So I'm going to go up. And I'm going to go back in. Pull that nice and tight. I want to take this wire and twist it. Get that little edge off. Squeeze that. Clamp these pieces down. And if I'm doing this wrong, please let me know, because like I said, I have never used these before, but all in all, it's working. So here is our piece to be attached, and I think that actually looks pretty good. I like that. Then I'll add chain to this piece. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a chain that's already made. fingers are not working today. So I want to get my chain, go right down the middle. I want to see exactly where my middle is going to be. Just right there. I'm going to take that one. There we go. I'm going to get 2 tiny jump rings. I'm going to open them up. To open them, all you do is hold one side and twist the other side. I'm going to add this jump ring to the last link. And I'm going to add it here. I'm going to reclose it. Do the same on the other side. Oops. There we go. And there is our necklace. I really like that, guys. That really was a simple and pretty easy project. And I like the wire because see how you could bend it? That's why I was kind of going with that. But I wasn't sure how I was going to attach these. And then I remembered I bought these. So I'm hoping that I use these correctly. Like I said, if I'm not, please leave in a comment, you know, how to properly use them. I'm not even sure what they're called, so I can't even Google it to see how to use them. But the way I used them, it worked. So I'm happy with it. All right, so there's one project completed. We're going to put that off to the side. And then we're going to start on our earrings. I have my little eyelets that I cut. I'm going to get my super glue. And these ones I left in. It was easier to sand and hold on to them. So I'm just going to put a little glue on here. You do not need a lot. Let me put some on here. There we go. And just stick it right back into the hole. Okay. And do the same thing with this one. Now since I took these out, I want to make sure that I'm getting the right sizes in these. So I'm going to try to stick these back in and make sure I'm getting the right ones in here. Let me get this wire out of here. Okay, wire off to the side. Let's see if this one fits in here. Okay, so we know those ones will fit. So now we're going to pull them back out and then glue them in. When you're gluing these in, make sure you're gluing them in the position that you want them. Because once they're glued in, you're not taking them back out. Okay, so that should dry nice and quick. And we'll start getting all our pieces together here. Decide exactly how we want these to lay on each one. So I know I want that there. I want this bigger one on this side. And we'll do it like that. Let's get our little jump rings. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 on each one. And I am once again going to use a chain. I ran out of my rope chains like that are not put together to do crafting, so I'm just using these little chains that I had for a while, as they work just as well. And these actually have little hoops on them this side, so I'll leave that on. Then I got to decide on my length. Okay, I'm thinking about 1 inch. Let me get my ruler. Okay, so I will measure out. Let me move you over a minute. Here we go. So I'm going to measure out 1 inch from length to length for the first part, because I'm thinking that's a nice space. Actually, maybe I'll go a little bit smaller. 1 inch for that one. Okay, so 1 inch on this side, and we'll do 1/2 inch on the other side. So I'm actually going to take my wire that I had, and I'm just going to mark exactly which one I want to cut. So I know I want to cut that one. So that's going to be my 1/2 inch. And then I want to cut let's get right there. That'll be my 1 inch. Okay. So that gives me my marks. And I can pull that out. Now I'm going to get my little jump rings again. Carefully close that. And I'm actually wondering if I could open, no. I was going to see if I could open the eyelet, but because I glued it, I'm afraid I might break my piece if I try. So I'm just going to use the jump ring. Go on this side. when you are putting this on, make sure you put it on with the stone facing the right way. So I want that. And make sure it's closed all the way. I really like that. Okay, let's do the next one. And last one up here. Okay. There we go. And these ones, actually, I like these a lot because if you kind of just open them up, you don't have to add an extra hoop to it. And you just put that in there and reclose it. When you're doing this, make sure that this is facing the back, so this way it lays in the ear properly. If you don't do that, your earring's not going to be facing the right direction. So you always want to make sure that that is facing the back side. So here are our earrings. So we got 2 projects done now. Oh, you know what? I am seeing that that one was the broken piece. Let's open this back up. Okay. Pair of earrings. So now we got earrings and a necklace. And I'm real happy with these. These are adorable. These are fun. I think these are going to be real fun to wear. So put those off to the side. And these are super simple. So I decided I was going to put my little beads up there. I could have added them here too, but I thought the beads might look nice on the earrings. Okay, so these ones are going to be real simple. You're just going to take your jump ring, going to put it in the hole, and then I got this type of stud, so it just slips right on, super simple. Close, and your earring is made. So very simple for those ones. Close it again. Okay, 3rd pair of earrings complete. Or 2nd pair of earrings, I should say. For this pendant, we're going to take our 2 jump rings. I'm going to get one more of my chains. I'm going to do the same exact thing as I did with the other one. And go right down the middle. Right there. Take our jump ring. Add our chain. Going to slip that one on. Close that. And there is our second necklace. And lastly, I need 2 of my eyelets. I'm going to take this, put the bead on, and then I'm going to get these pliers. I'm going to bend it that direction, and then I'm actually going to cut a little bit of this off. And now I'm actually going to take this and turn it the opposite way so I can make another loop. There we go. Where's my other hole? There we go. This one, I don't know if I have to cut much off because this one's actually a little bit longer. So I think I'm just going to see if I can do it just like this. And I can. So that one we're going to leave. We're not going to cut that. I'm just going to take this and turn it so they're both facing the same direction. Open up my jump ring. Push it through. I'm going to put my bead on. Make sure they're closed all the way. And there's our last pair of earrings. Let me get this stuff out of the way. So we got these beautiful earrings. Those earrings. These fun earrings. And we got this necklace, this beautiful pendant. And lastly, but not least, we got this necklace. I had a lot of fun making all these pieces. I think each one is unique on its own. I think they're going to look beautiful all together. You could put these with this necklace or I mean, really, I love how you can really mix and match all these pieces together. I hope you love these as much as I do, and I hope you create and have a lot of fun with this project. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.